RVers and YouTube out there. I wanted to make a video today to tell everybody Happy New Year's, and I wish and hope that everybody has a great 2016. I'm not sure how 2015 was for everybody, but for me, 2015 was an amazing year, actually. I have my RV. I've had it for a year now, and haven't lived in it for quite a year. That's February is my actual 1 year of actually living in this. But I did own it at the end of 2015 and was preparing to move into it full time. And in the year that I've lived in this RV, almost a year that I've lived in this RV, I've learned a lot. And I want to talk about how I experience things differently in this RV than a house. There are particular things that are very different than from when I lived in a house. And the number one thing for me is wind. Wind is very different in this RV. I remember when I lived in a house, hearing the wind howl. It would just howl and howl, and I really hated that sound, and it would keep me up at night and make me feel anxious. And since I've been living in this RV, I have not heard the wind howl. I don't know if it's just that the wind howls up against the walls of the house, maybe because the wind is hitting a solid surface, it makes it howl. I'm not really sure. That's kind of my theory, is that it howls because it's going up against the building and there's too much resistance. So anyway, it's been really nice not hearing that howl of the wind. And the other big difference with wind, excuse me, living in this RV is the movement. When the wind hits the RV, it rocks and rocks, and I think of it as how I might experience living on a boat, which luckily for me doesn't make me seasick. There have been a couple of times where the wind's been really bad, and maybe it's an irrational fear, but I've had a couple of moments where I was actually afraid that this thing was going to tip over. Luckily, it hasn't tipped over, and I don't know, maybe that really is an irrational fear. Maybe it's not likely to tip over. I'm not sure. And since I've been here in this spot, the other fear that I've had a couple of times was that the RV was going to take off rolling, like it would somehow roll out of the spot. That's not as bad as it was when I first moved here, because when I first moved here, the guys that guided me in had me stop a little more forward, and so it already kind of felt like the RV was tipping down. And I have since rolled it back or moved it back myself. I just started it up and put it in reverse and went straight back maybe 2 feet. And so it doesn't feel like it's tipping down now, which is good. So that's lessened that fear a little bit more. I think I'm going to buy some of those wheel chocks and put them under my front wheel. I've got a couple of boards under my front wheels, but anyway, that could be completely irrational as well. It hasn't moved. I do have the emergency brake set on it, and so that's wind. The other thing that I experience very differently is water. When I lived in a house, I had to make an effort to conserve water. I've always been very conscious of water use, but it really took a big effort to conserve water living in a house. And here, water conservation just comes naturally. I'm constantly thinking about water use, water use. Even though I'm hooked up to the city water, technically I do have endless running water, but there's still just 6 gallons in the hot water heater. So, yes, maybe my cold water is endless, which right now it is, but the hot water is not. And showers will never be the same. And I don't miss the showers in a house. I really don't, because I've never been the type of person who gets in a shower and just, wants to stand there and let the water run over. Always been very a utilitarian over the showers. Get in, get my business done, get out. Not a big deal. And sounds. Sounds is another really big thing that is different living here, living in the RV, and has been from the very first night that I slept in this. It's like I'm more acutely aware of sounds, and when I hear a sound that I don't recognize, I have to go and investigate it. And once I know what's causing the sound, then I'm okay. But if I don't know what's causing the sound, I don't rest until I know what's causing the sound. So sounds at times have kept me up, and I don't know why for sure that's different. When I was in a house, I would just turn on my fan and I'd just hear the fan and I'd sleep and not have any worries. And since I've been living here, I actually have a hard time with the fan. I don't run the fan at night anymore because I have to hear those sounds. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's true. When the fan's running and I can't hear what's going on outside and around me, I actually don't sleep. I have to know the sounds. And you do hear sounds. Like I hear, the people next door talking, and I say people next door. I don't know if that's really the right phrase, the people in the spot next to me. And you hear pretty much everything that goes on around you. Which of course makes me think, well, then they're probably hearing me all the time. Not that I make a lot of noise, but if I'm watching TV, I wonder, do they hear the TV? Do they hear my music when I'm playing my music? Chances are they probably do. But, it's just the way it is. And it doesn't really bother me. I've not had anybody complain, oh, hey, you're being too loud. And there's nothing going on that I would not want the sound to travel. And overall, this has been an amazing experience living here. I'll never go back. There's no doubt about it at all. I'll never go back to living in a house or an apartment. I'll never go back to paying rent. I have a lot space, but that doesn't seem like rent. Well, it's a whole lot less than rent too. I'm paying $275 a month, and that includes the electricity too. So there's not an electricity bill on top of that, which is really amazing. When I was at the other place in Salt Lake, it was $375. It was $375 a month for that little rundown ghetto spot in Salt Lake. I'll never go back there. I have no desire to go back to that place in Salt Lake. It's ghetto. It was $375 plus on top of that you had to pay electricity. And since I've been here, it's $275 a month. Electricity's included, water's included. The only other bill that I have is I have my cell phone, which is like $60 a month, and practically useless to me. The signal down here is not enough to really even warrant having a cell phone. I have my internet, which of course I have to have my internet because of my work. And so I see that not as, it is a bill, but I see that as a necessary part of working. And working I see as necessary in order to put money aside for travel. And I have been able to put money aside since I lived here because my expenses are very low. And I am also happy and excited because out of my next paycheck, I'm going to be able to purchase a little moped scooter to get around a little more easier here. And I've already thought it all out because I don't want to have a toad. I don't want to have to tow something, but I need something else so I can get around wherever I'm at. So I'm going to buy a little moped scooter. And then when it gets too hot for me to still stay here, I'll find somewhere else to go. And when I do that, I'm going to get one of those, it's like a rack that you put on the back that I can just drive the scooter up onto. And so I'm not really towing it. That's my plan. It'll work. I'll make it work. And so I am excited and that's just next week that I'll get my next paycheck. And that entire paycheck will go towards a scooter. And it's going to be a really big paycheck too, because last week we got paid for having New Year's or Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off. But those were normally my days off anyway. So in effect, I've got 7 full days, 7 full 8-hour days, plus this week. And this week, tomorrow is New Year's Day, and it's my normal day off, but we're getting holiday pay for it. So I'm going to have 6 8-hour days and then 7 8-hour days on one paycheck. It's going to be big. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I am really looking forward to 2016. I'm not sure how long this video is. Oh, I see the little 12, it's like 12 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up. And this is different for me to put a video where I'm actually videotaping myself. And so I will be seeing how you guys all react to it. You know, if you like this, I might keep doing it. I'm starting to get over my extreme camera shyness. And so maybe this is a good thing for me. And if you guys don't like it, then maybe too bad. I don't know. So you guys all have a very happy 2016 wherever you're at. Make your life what you want it to be. Focus on what you want. Don't let fear or doubt cloud your vision. Your vision is your dream. Go out, make it happen, make it a good year. And I'll see y'all in 2016.